Exodus, the 3rd chapter. Exodus, the 3rd chapter. And we're going to look at verses 1 through 15 here. Now, as we talked about it before, this whole point of this lesson today is talking about it's time that you take a second look. What we want to ask people today is we want you to begin to do a self-examination of yourself, to look inside of the things that you've been doing, to look at your mindset, to look at the life choices that you've been making, to look at your belief system, look at where you go to church, look at who people that you're fellowshipping with, look at the people that you call yourself to be friends, look at the people that you're looking at for counseling and advice. I want you to look at, begin to examine the things that you watch on television. Begin to examine the places that you attend for entertainment and all those different factors that many people don't feel to play a part in their ultimate destiny. We want you to take a look at those things because those things are very, very vital. Now, this verse right here, this precept that we're going to give you here, not only is going to bring out the name of the Most High, but it's going to show you the very important factor of not just taking everything that you see for granted. Because many of you have found yourself in situations where the blessing that the Most High was trying to get to you was right there in hand reach. But because you couldn't see it, remember when we talked about that last week, that a blind man cannot see his enemy. When we went to Jeremiah 17:4, verse 5, he said that those who rely on man to be his strength, he can't even see when good is coming. Right? That's Jeremiah 17:5. So what we're trying to get across to our people here today is, the so-called black man, the so-called African-American man is that many of you are seeing the blessing as a curse and seeing the curse as a blessing. Right? Many of you are seeing the people who the Most High is sending to your life to be a blessing as an enemy and seeing the enemy that's in your life as friends. Right? Because somebody come on to tell you like, yo, your miracle is right on the way. You are one step away from your miracle. You'll say, yo, that's a man of God. Right? But then a person comes on and say, listen, you really need to stack this out of your life. You really need to separate yourself from this. You really need to get back to the law, statutes, and commandments. You need to put that pork down, put that shrimp down, put that crab down. And you'll say, yo, this guy's judging me. He's my enemy. You understand? So, we're going to see here with Moses out here in the wilderness. This is during the time that Moses had killed the Egyptian, ran away, found himself in the land of Midian, ended up marrying Jethro, the Midianite priest's daughter, right? He begins to come forward with his family. Now, even though he realizes long ago that he is a Hebrew, he understands fully that he's an Israelite. He understands fully that he's from the tribe of Levi. Because of life circumstances, he's finding himself way away from his people, way away from his purpose, way away from the calling that's on his life. But don't you know that no matter how far you get away from the Most High, he's always going to come for you? And many of you, the Most High is sending to us, to you here today, on Facebook Live. We have came into your house. This is the Most High. You just see two Israelites coming into your house, but truly the matter is, this is the Most High. Right? He's found you right there in that circumstance that you are. Right on the brink of the decision that's going to change the whole aspect of your life. And we hope and pray that you take that second look. Exodus the 3rd chapter. Let's get in verse 1 there, Jay.
Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came out of the mountain of God, even to Horeb.
Now, what is that? That may seem an insignificant thing. But it truly is not. Because a lot of times, the greatest opportunities for change is going to happen in your everyday occurrence. Just a normal day. And the problem is what happens a lot of times is with our people. It's because we leave the house so burdened down about another day because it doesn't seem exciting or significant. So the only time we feel excited if certain holidays are coming or your birthday is coming or it's payday. But any other day, you leave your house with no expectation for the Most High to do something in your life. And so what we want you to do is from this point on, we need you to stop looking at every day as just a regular day. You understand? You need to leave your house, have been given the Most High, spending time with the Most High before you leave your house. And you need to treat every day as a day that the Most High can move in your life. Every day. I don't care where you find yourself at. You need to see every day as an opportunity for the storm that you're in to end, for the blessing that you need to manifest, for the healing that you need to manifest, for the prosperity that you need to manifest. Every day, I don't care where you are, what it is you're doing, going through the regular motions, you don't ever know what corner you're about to walk around and the Most High standing there waiting on you. Verse 2.
And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in the flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, while the bush is not burnt.
Now, so Moses out there doing his regular day thing, just carrying on, doing the work that he has to do. And he sees this. But he don't have any idea what it is. And most of us, now, in this new generation that we live in today, first thing you do is you pull out your phone. Okay? That's what the first thing most people would do. Let me pull out my phone, let me try to record it so I can tell somebody about it, or let me go live. Okay? And many of you are missing some great opportunities with the Most High because you're spending your time on your phone so much. Now, I understand, I want to say this. I understand that sometimes, you know what I mean, that when you're in a church service and whatever, that you want to go live and let people see what's going on. But the truth of the matter is, unless you're part of the media department at your church, you shouldn't even be caring about that. Because you should be just focusing on what the Most High is saying, during the worship service, during the service. This shouldn't be the time you should be tweeting and posting on Facebook talking about some church flow. You understand? You should be listening. You should be receiving everything that the Most High is saying. Right? So Moses saw this thing, but he doesn't know that it's the angel of the Lord. He doesn't know that the Most High has came to him. But what he does say is, you know what? I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna examine this thing. I'm gonna look at this thing. I'm gonna see what it is going on. Verse 4.
And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am.
You see that? Did you see that? Read that for him again. Read the first part for him again.
And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see.
When the Lord saw that he turned around to see. You see, notice that when he first appeared, he didn't say a word. He didn't say anything. But because Moses made an attempt himself to look back, to take that second look, that's when the Most High started to speak. And see, Christianity is teaching people that if Lord want to do it, he'll do it. Nah, that's not what it is. Hebrews 11:6 says that without faith, it is impossible to please God. Because we first believe that he is God, first and foremost, and that he is a rewarder of those what? Who diligently seek him. You understand? And most people are not. Going to church on Sunday mornings, even though it's not of the Most High, we know people are still in transition, but going to church is not seeking God. And I know that's what people think, but it's not. You understand? Because that's worship service. That's doing what you're supposed to do. Worship the Lord. Seeking the Lord is that when it's just you by yourself, that you're taking the opportunity, you're making the time on a daily basis to be in the presence of the Lord. You understand? So as soon as Moses made that decision in his mind and says, I'm going to see what this is. I'm going to examine this. I'm going to make the decision to see what's going on. That's when the Most High spoke. Verse 5.
And he said, Draw it not hither Put off thy shoes from thy feet, for the place where thou standest is holy ground.
Now, that's another thing. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this, and I want to be very respectful, right? But the way people are acting in these churches these days, you can see that the Most High Spirit is not there. It's very obvious. It's impossible to be in the presence of the Lord and come in the way that most people go to church. You understand? You're just walking in there any kind of way, dressed any kind of way. And I'm not talking about people who don't know no better. I'm not talking about people who are going to church for the first couple of times who don't got no gear. Because I'm telling you, when I first started going to church, I definitely had no gear. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who've been in church for years. No respect. Coming in any kind of way, dumping a cigarette right before you walk in the door, just bow. Then walk in the door. Right? Sitting the time of the church before it gets started. No worship. No prayers. No entering into the presence of the Lord. People sitting over here in one corner gossiping. You're over here in this corner gossiping. And then the devotion leaders got to come out with pom-poms and cheerleader things and press you and force you to praise God. All kind of conversations going on. But Moses I told him right there, look, this is holy ground. You can't come in here any kind of way. You can't bring that mess from the fields. You out there with the sheep. You can't bring this over here to me. You can't bring the dirtiness of the world in my presence. You understand? Verse 6.
Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob.
The God of Egypt.
The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
The God of Europe.
The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
No, he's the God of the Christianity.
Of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Of the Protestant Reformation.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Okay.
And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows.
Mm-hmm.
And I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land which unto a good land and a large, and to a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites.
Mm-hmm.
Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them.
Now, let's stop there for a second. Because many of our people, when we talk to them on a daily basis, right? Many of our people make statements like, listen, man, the Most High don't care nothing about us. God don't care nothing about us. Look at the way we live. Look at our community. Look at how we suffering, man. Look how the so-called white man who is Esau, how they do us. Look how the cops killing us in the streets. Look how much we dying and all this stuff. Look at these people who get, and God don't care nothing about us. And I'm pretty sure that our people, when we was in Israel, through that 215 years, I know people believe that it's 400, but we're going to do a lesson on that sometime next year. We're going to show and prove, understand. We're going to debunk this whole 400-year prophecy that people is believing. We need to get into that in the near future, but we're still trying to wake up our people before we get them into this meat. But anyway, I'm pretty sure during that whole time that our people were in Egypt, that they questioned, did the Most High care anything about it? Yeah, I mean, they had been there for a long time, man, going through a lot. And what people don't understand is that when you got to go back and read the other part of Genesis and the first part of Exodus, when they first got there, they wasn't serving, they was on. You understand? And they went from being on to just taking advantage of to all the way down to the point of slavery. And I'm pretty sure they was like, yo, man, the Most High done gave up on us, the Most High done threw us away. He don't care nothing about us. But the prayers of the righteous were still reaching the Most High. He was getting there. And because people get so caught up in their situations, they get so caught up in the circumstances that they're going on, and it ain't ending in the time frame that they feel like it should be, they gave it up. They just done. And the whole time, where these people are back in Egypt right now, thinking that the Most High is done with them, The Most High is over here in Midian preparing to deliver to come back and get them out. What does that got to do with the so-called black man, the so-called African-American man? Right now, in the midst of everything that's going on in this country, the Most High is waking up his people all over the world to who they really are. People putting down pagan traditions, putting down Christmas, putting down Easter, putting down Thanksgiving, putting down Sunday service. And now they're waking back up to who they are. I'm not black. I'm not an African American. I'm from the tribe of Judah from the nation of Israel. I'm from the tribe of Issachar from the nation of Israel, so-called Mexicans. I'm from the tribe of Gad, the so-called Indian. I'm from the tribe of Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Rican. They are waking up. And now, at the time of the awakening that's going forth in the earth, while everybody else is throwing in the towel, everybody else is standing up as a succeeding army, according to Ezekiel the 37th chapter. So this is not the time to throw in the towel. This is not the time to compromise. This is the time to get into this word and do a second look of who you really are. Because you never know how quickly everything can change. Now, what is verse 8? Verse 10. Verse 10?
Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Certainly I will be with thee, and this shall be a token unto thee that I have sent thee. When thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt, you shall serve God upon this mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses said unto God, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, The God of your fathers has sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, What is his name? What shall I say to them?
Mm-hmm.
And God said to Moses, I am that I am.
I am that I am. And in the Hebrew, that is a higher, a sure, a higher. That is the name of the Most High God. Now, Jay, I want you to put that in there for him, in the box. For those who have not been with us before, I want to make sure that you get that name. A higher, a sure, a higher. Now, remember when we took you this... Yeah. Now, remember when we took you to 2 Chronicles, the 7th chapter, it said, those who are called by my name. That is the name of the Most High. That is the name that you need to be called upon. If you want to receive, if you want to be redeemed, if you want to be restored, if you want to be healed, that is the name that you need to call on. That is the name of the Most High God. A higher, a sure, a higher. Give him 14 again.
And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, Thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, I am has sent me unto you.
Mm-hmm.
And God said moreover unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, The Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me unto you. This is my name forever.
How long?
Forever.
How long?
Forever.
Until they change it.
Forever.
Until the Catholic Church comes.
Forever.
Until Jesus become God.
Forever.
Until the Christians come.
Forever.
Forever. And it is what?
And this is my memorial unto all generations.
Until how many generations?
All generations.
Until the Catholics take over.
All generations.
Until Europe get it.
All generations.
Until the Gentiles come in.
All generations.
All generations. This is his name. A higher, a sure, a higher. It is time you took a second look. It is time you took a second look. When Moses made a decision to make that second look, to not go with what he had been accustomed to doing, everything about his life changed, and his purpose that was on his life was introduced. And many of you are trying to figure it out. What is it that God wants me to do? What is my purpose? What is my destiny? You're trying to get an understanding of it. When the truth of the matter is right there in front of you. But you just got to take that second look. You got to open up your eyes. You got to get past the problems, get past the storms, get past your current circumstances, and focus on the Most High. I ain't talking about no New Year's resolution. I'm talking about a complete self-examination of your life choices, of the way you, of the what you believe, what you know to be true, where you're worshiping at, who you're spending your time with, what you're watching on television. Take a complete self-examination of yourself and find out what the Most High wants you to do. Talk to Him directly. Just talk to Him, and He'll do it for you. Today's lesson for those who are just coming on. It's time you take a second look. Let's go to Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter. Let's start the YouTube.